You got this shit knocking low.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Chase Carter Concept Podcast. Chase Carter, my brain's not firing today. Apologies. Chase Carter Concept Podcast for Tuesday, November 1st, the day after Halloween. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing well. I've been doing all right. Got to see my family this past weekend. They came down, or where am I? Yeah, down. I'm in San Diego. So yeah, down to visit. First time ever. Some family came down. Well, my mom and my mom and brother together came down and visited. They stayed for 2 days. They were debating on a hotel or Airbnb. Decided on a hotel. Now my little brother, was not very aware of his surroundings, so he drove down here. And him and I had to go back to the hotel. And I thought he kind of knew where it was. If it was north or south of where we were, what exit, and then he didn't know any of that. And then I asked him, what's the name of the hotel that you've already stayed a night at? He said, I don't know. Because we had to go back and get the dog. They came over without the dog. I'm like, you're going to be over here for a couple hours. Let's not leave the dog in the hotel by herself, And I just he's still completely oblivious. Just out to lunch half of the time. And so he said the reason he didn't know if you went north, I was like, are you north? I wanted to ask him, are you north or south of where you live? Just geographically, do you know where you are? I just wanted to ask him that question. I would assume he would not know anything about that. And I'm not the most aware person either. I'm like, where am I exactly? Not too sure. The only way I know where like different areas of a city are is like northeast. Like most people go, it's like, oh, it's up the 15 or it's up the 5 or whatever. I'm like, well, it's northeast of here. And that's how I do the directions first. I don't know why that is, but it's like, yeah, La Jolla is northwest of my current location, but now it's more west. So, but anyways, northwest. But I had a good time. Where did we go? We had breakfast here. We went out to eat. I wanted to go out to eat to this really nice place. I forget the name now. I forget the name of it, but I didn't stay overnight there. I've only been there twice. It's has a lot of airplanes and World War II stuff. A lot of French themed things. Really nice restaurant. It's like $50 a plate, but it's some of the best food I've ever had. And Corey, my wife, found it. Of course, she found it. And then, but that place was closed on, was it Sunday? Sunday, yes. Closed on, I think it closes at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. on Sunday, which I don't know. Hey, person who runs the restaurant and has a great restaurant. You don't have to leave it open past, 5, maybe 5. Ooh, 5. Ooh, 5's late. But it was nice. See them. Let's see, what else did we do? Hung around and talked for a few hours. They came back. Then we went out to dinner at this place, something Strauss, Carl Strauss. It's this like burger place. What? Okay, well, I'm gonna go. I didn't want to. Why are places? Why do I have to order on the phone? And then also, like with a QR code, nobody's sitting you at tables anymore. Okay? Nobody's asking you what you want to eat anymore. At a lot of these places, they're cutting all this stuff out, and then they have the nerve to ask for a tip. Hey, buddy. I know it's more efficient. Go on the phone, it goes straight to the cook. I understand that. But the whole reason I'm going out is because I want to be served, I want to be treated well. I can't be treated well by the cook because I never see him. And if there's no waiter or waitress coming to my table consistently, I don't get free refills. I don't get as many free refills as I want. Now, this place, I made it a point because I've had this happen where they disappear unless the food's coming out. And they said, hey, what do you want? And I say, hey, can I get a refill on this? Because it's been 20, 30 minutes since the last time I saw them. They get the refill, never see them again. Because that's not their job. Their job isn't to wait on you. It's a food runner. That's what their job is now. At some of these places, not all. The nice fancy places that where you pay $50, they sit down, they tell you the specials, they tell you, they still have that. But I don't want to have to pay $40, $50 a plate for that experience. So I went to we were going to her sister's Halloween party, which was for children, so it's not like, I didn't dress up. I'm not going to dress up anyway. But so we go to that, and I'm hungry, and she said, well, it's going to be another hour or so. We got to go to the grocery store, get some stuff for the party, and then we're going to go. And the food's not going to be ready when we get there, so you might want to eat before. So the only place that was near this Walmart Vons section was, it starts with a Q. What is it called? I don't know. It's it's like Hawaiian Quero. I can't remember. It's like bar. It's like a grill. Crap. Yeah, can't remember. But anyway, it was a food bowl place. It was kind of like, to me, it was a cheaper flame broiler place. They have like a food bowl, rice, beans, your choice of protein, all that stuff. And it was more like kind of like Hawaiian themed. I can't, Quero. Anyway, I go there, and all you do is you ask for your food, and they give it to you and leave. It's a to-go order. They asked for a tip. They had the nerve to ask me for a tip. I order the food. They don't bring it to you. They put it on the counter and say your name out loud like Starbucks. Hey, you're not doing anything. You're making my food. He's like, oh, yeah, you're paying for good food. I'm already paying $12 for a food bowl. Bowl. I don't know why I said bowl that way. But I'm paying $12. $11.67. Don't understand why I have to tip you $1 or $2. And I felt pressured. I felt pressured before to tip extra, to tip 10, 20%. I went to a pizza place where they don't serve you. Waiters are not going around. The only time the waiters come to your table is to get your cups and your plates, because they have to wash them and get them back up. They're not doing it for you. They're doing it so they can serve other people. So they don't have to give out these plastic cups so they can get the nice glasses. So they asked for a tip. I got 2 slices and a drink. It was $10. They asked for a tip, and it was like recommended 20%. Recommended 20%. Hey guys. You're sitting behind the counter. You're not even. I would tip the cook. The cook like, hey, really good pizza. Here's $2 extra. Really good slices. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But the people who just sit behind the counter and don't do anything, who just go ding, 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 ding. What do you want? Ding, 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 ding. You do know, like with the place before, I can do that. And I have to tip you for doing something that technically I can do, but then I could also cook my own pizza at home. So that may negate the whole issue. But the whole point of the tip is for the service. Not for the quality of food, which is important because, quality of food, you're not going back to the establishment anyway. But it baffles my mind. The service, the constant service that, do you need anything? You're a customer here. We want you to have a good time. Do you need extra napkins? Do you need, and then I went to this I paid for, okay, I haven't been to this place since the NBA finals months ago. And it was like $28 for like this big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs. Big bowl, right? And I get an Arnold Palmer, and I'd be in it, and then I would save half of it for lunch or dinner the next day, 2 meals, $30, $15 a meal. I'm like, okay, no problem. And their spaghetti and meatballs are great. 2 huge softball size meatballs, maybe baseball size meatballs, really good sauce. I go back about a week ago, and the guy remembers me because I would always come in there for the finals, because for some reason the finals wouldn't show up on the streaming service I had. It would lost my mind. Wouldn't show up, and it was laggy. It would show up, but it would skip every couple seconds. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to watch the finals like this. I'm going to go out. It'll be nice. So over the course of like 2 weeks, I got to know these people, and they saw me as a regular. And then the guy recognized me. He's like, hey, I haven't seen you since the finals. I'm like, yeah, I haven't been in here since the finals. He's like, spaghetti and meatballs and an Arnold Palmer. And I'm like, yeah, good service, blah, blah, blah. $48. It's spaghetti and meat. Do you have to fly in an old lady from Italy to make the pasta by hand? Like, what are you doing back there? I don't care now, if it's some kind of where you're mixing stuff and it's difficult to, like, and this is a chain, this is like a chain Italian place. There's more than one of them. Biero's or what, I can't even pronounce it. Making fun of my brother not knowing where he was, and last 4 places I don't know. Apparently that's why we're related. He has whatever I have, but a more severe case. Clearly. I'm just sitting there thinking, like, why is this so much money? Why is it 48 for never going back there again? Then the silverware had all the watermarks on it, dirty. And I was like, I asked for a new whatever, and I think he just went in the back and just wiped it off. Because I saw the water stain was like at the very top of the knife was cut a little. It was like a very sharp stuff. I'm like, oh, you just went back and I just don't. And then I go to In-N-Out, and it's $11 for a 3x3 meal, spread only. I'm not going anywhere else ever again. In-N-Out, great quality food, fresh food, is about the same price, and then everywhere else is going up. Hey guys, hey, what are you guys doing over there? If In-N-Out can do it and they pay their employees more money, what is happening? What is going on? What is going on? I don't know why I sounded like Jerry Seinfeld right there, but it's not that stressful. But it's these little annoying things. In the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. Don't care, but I really do. But it's just little things you notice as you're going on throughout the day. I don't get it. Don't get it at all. My picture that I have for the lighting is not working again. But I just don't get it. What else? Went to the Halloween party. And it was in which is weird. They have these, which is an interesting way to make like this housing development. It's very interesting. Like, I saw this one, for some reason I watch architecture. I can't even say that correctly. Architecture, like YouTube videos about these planners and developers and how they save space. Because obviously the more land you build these houses on, the more expensive they're going to do. But you want to if you buy a chunk of land, you want to put as many houses on the chunk of land as possible so you can sell these, obviously, clearly. So there's one housing development. They had pools for each house. Well, to save space, they took all the pools out in their plans and then just built one community pool. And that's how you get those. That's why you have those places. Or that's why you have the one pool in the main area, because each person doesn't need a pool or want a pool. And it saves you space and you can put more houses in this area. But now they're getting to where they're shoving these houses so close together. It's mind-boggling what they have done. Like, her wife's house or her sister's house, my wife's sister's house. That's the sentence I was trying to say. Has a 2-story, really nice place, and it's the first, like, obviously it's a built-in garage, and then the house is obviously on top. Part of the house is on top of the garage and whatever. It's a normal house, and then 2 feet over to the right or left is another house. Same thing, but it's in this. It's not a court. It's a driveway. It's like a 2-car width driveway. Like, there's the normal road, which is thin as is, like real small, and it goes through this neighborhood, and then each little pocket of each little driveway has 7 houses circling the driveway, and it's all together. It's the one of the weirdest setups I've ever seen, and it's all to save space. That's what all it's for. It's to put as many, houses, $100,000 houses, hundreds of thousands of dollars houses in each section. I'm just like, what are we doing here? Can we have a house with a little bit of land? It'll be worth more. Just build that. Now we got to jam them in. We got to jam them in, Earl. But it was nice. There was these, like, one of their neighbors had these cute little princesses, their daughters. They're like so tiny, barely could talk. They're just waddling around. And then we got asked, "Oh, do you have any kids of your own? Thinking about kids or whatever?" And if I love all the little princesses running around. I was like, well, if I hang around this place, I'm gonna want one. Like, that's why I don't hang around, And then if I had a little daughter, there'd be nothing she could do that would bother me. There'd be nothing. She can do whatever she wanted. I have nephews, and then I have nephews who are boys, obviously. And having them, and they do something stupid, you have a shorter leash. You're like, dude, what are you doing? I know how you think. What are you doing? You're smarter than that. Quit being an idiot. If a little girl messes up, don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. You'll learn from it. You're a princess. You can do whatever you want. And especially if they're dressed up as princesses. Oh, so cute. That's adorable. And they were Asian. They were these cute little Asian princesses. Made them even more cute. Their cuteness scale went even higher. Oh God. Anyways, if I hang out, I got to stay away from that neighborhood. All their parties, Thanksgiving, and all this stuff. I'm gonna want a child. It's adorable. And then we had a good time there. One of the kids, he was an older boy. He was sitting at the kids' table, and then all the kids had left except for him. He wasn't finished eating, and then the plastic table, for some reason, like the chair, the leg gave out, and then he fell with a couple of he didn't fall that hard. He just tipped over. And I was like, oh, everyone saw it. And he kind of was like, kind of embarrassed. And people came over. He's like, it's fine. It's not your fault. Not your fault. He's like, okay. And just gets up and goes. But I was like, it would have been a disaster if all the kids were at the table and it fell. It would have been, little girls were there, big kids, but all of us, the catastrophe was averted just by random happenstance. Happenstance. I think that's the term I was looking for. That was my weekend. It was good. I saw Black Adam. Good movie. Can't complain. Me and my wife were. I was upset at her. She was just contradicting herself, saying one thing and then the next day saying the other thing. I went over it in my last episode. How she'll get mad. This is an example. She'll get mad that I eat stuff in the fridge. And I told her, I was like, I'm going to eat all of it. She made cornbread. She made a whole thing of cornbread. And then she's like, do you want me to make you another one? And I said, yes, please. So I ate half of the loaf because I have a cornbread issue. Then she put the other half. She had a little bit of it. And then she put the rest in the fridge. And I said, I'm going to eat all of that. I love cornbread. And then I figured out we have an air fryer. You cut the cornbread in quarters. And then you make a little slice of butter. little tiny slice of butter, put it on each, because this is cold. It had been in the fridge. You put all those 4 or 5 pieces in the air fryer, put a little thin slice of butter on it, put it in there for about 5 minutes at 280. I'll be the fattest person alive if she keeps making that stuff. She made me cornbread specifically and then complained that I ate it. Did you eat all of the cornbread? She said the next day. And I said, yeah, I did, because I told you I was going to eat it. I have a problem with, I love cornbread. And if you make cornbread, I don't even care if you really get any. You have 24 hours to get yours. After that, it's going to be eaten. And then when I don't eat food, she left me some food for dinner the other day and I didn't get to it. She'll complain that I didn't eat that food. Because as long as it's in her head, it's designated to me, I should eat it. But if it's just a random, like, possible sharing, she's hoping to get to it, and then I eat it all, it's a problem. So if I don't eat food and it goes bad, my fault. If I eat all of the food, again, my fault. So I can't win. Nothing I do is correct. And just got on my nerves, and I'm just like, hey, lady, look. So I just, when she was gone, when she came home, I left for the movies. I didn't want to, I was like, look, you're going to be home. Sometimes she complains that I'm home too much. It's like, you stay at home. You need to go out much. Okay, fine. And then she was like, where are you? I was like, I'm out at the movies, whatever. And then a few hours later, because then I went out. That's when I went to the Italian place. Never going there again. Hey, you want spaghetti and meatballs? Love to. How much you got in your bank account? I got a couple $100. Half. I don't want half my money gone because I want spaghetti and meatballs. And your Arnold Palmers aren't even that good. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Black Adam. Sorry, Black Adam. So I went and saw Black Adam, had a good time, even though I was in a kind of a bad mood. Black Adam was good. I could tell. I heard that they were going to make it an R-rated movie for some of the kills, but they obviously want to make it. I think it's PG-13. PG-13, so more people can go see it. Blah 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 blah. So they made it, but there's still some instances where you're like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." Or instead of blood, it'll be lava because there's magic and whatever. Or the people will go to ash. They won't be too gruesome. But The Rock was good in it. He seemed like a superhero. At first he was a anti-hero, very stone cold Steve Austin, if you ask me. Where did he get that character from? Who knows? But it was fine. There's a city that is being overrun by like these military people. They're being oppressed. It's 5,000 years after this, their hero went to left and he was going to return and all this other stuff, and you find out he wasn't. They're in this tomb where there was a crown that was made that's supposed to like conjure up like power, like demons and hell and whatnot. And so how would I explain this story? Because they do flashbacks like 5,000 years ago where it's like Egyptian times, and this pharaoh had his people, like, enslaved his people, had them dig for this certain type of rock that has magic abilities, and then they're going to make a crown to summon the demons, and then that one person was supposed to be like the demon warrior and then rule hell on earth, all that stuff. So, and then they show this boy who leads the revolt against this, and then he was supposed to be struck down. He steals the ore that is magical. He was supposed to be struck down, and as he's struck down, he instantly disappears, and he goes to like the wise wizard council. They give him powers to go fight and free his people. So they do that, but in that process, he destroys the temple, and then the rumor is he disappears, and he's going to return once he's needed again. Well, this place has been run down. Ooh, I'm talking my hands too much. I know. Sorry, I hit the mic. The place gets run down and then overrun again. There's people drilling for oil, for the ore, all these things. And so, but they're also they're drilling and stuff, and they're looking for the crown because the crown has been misplaced. The hero from before who, rose up Shazam, and then he turns into, Black Adam. They call him something. I forget the name. They tattoo. I forget what it is. It starts with a T, I think. Tuth, something. Anyways. So he goes back. They're back looking for the crown again. Some independent archaeologists are like, we can't let him. It'll ruin our city. We can't let him grab it. So they end up finding it. And then she's one of the only people that can read, of course. She's one of the only people that can translate the writings on the wall and this temple tomb thing. And so they speak like the name of the Rock's character, and then Shazam, and then the Rock appears, and then he's destroying everybody with a gun. There's like military people around chasing the girl, the archaeologist, the revolutionary, yeah, people trying to lead the revolt against the oppressive military regime, trying, that's taken over the city and trying to find this crown. And the crown's in the same place the Rock showed up in as well. So then the Rock is this badass character in this movie. So he comes in, he has this cool like hood and cloak, and he's very, I'm going to destroy everybody. But then there was this huge, piece of the temple. The temple kind of gets destroyed a little bit. He's destroying everybody in sight. But then this huge piece of rock was going to land on the main character, female character, and then he breaks it up. So he's like, oh wait, so he's kind of good. He's not out, what's going on here? So he doesn't just kill everybody. He knows what's going on. He knows who's good because he heard her voice, I guess, later in the movie. He's like, you're the one who released me or whatever. He said released. And then they find out that the Rock was actually not the kid who stole the ore and that was his son. So his son was actually, I think his dad was dying, and then he gave him his Shazam powers, and then they revert. So then the Rock is his father, is the kid's father. And then the kid became normal again. And then the Pharaoh's assassins, who were like on top of the person's building. And then the guy with superpowers didn't detect this because his superpowers were brand new. Shot his son instantly died. No way to save him. So that's when the Rock went insane and just destroyed everybody, destroyed the Pharaoh, destroyed the temple, just didn't care. And then the wise wizard council locked the crown up and then locked the Rock up in this temple. So the Rock's supposed to be bad. And then he has like no humanity left ever since. And then his wife also died by the Pharaoh. His wife died before he did, and he was dying. Then his son saved him, giving him the Shazam powers, what I just said. And then so the whole movie, the Rock is connected. His humanity is connected through, because he just wants to destroy everyone he has no like connection or ties to this place. He didn't really want to be the superhero. That was his son. His son wanted to be the hero of, started with a K. I can't remember the name of the place, but didn't want to. I did it again. I hit the mic. Didn't want to be the hero. So he's obviously an anti-hero, and you kind of rooting for him to like, hey dude, what are you doing? Wake up. You have all this power. You can do so much good. What are you doing? And like the Justice Alliance show up. Some people who are trying to rebalance the universe or whatever, part of the Justice League, like an offshoot from the Justice League. And they're just trying to make sure that no one too powerful gets loose. So they end up fighting. It's like kind of anti-hero versus good guys for a little bit. And they realize that Black Adam can destroy all of them. He's too powerful. I think it's like 4 different superheroes try to go at him. And they realize like that he's a god. He's a demigod basically. So there's no way, like they can kind of be formidable, but then if he gets there was one time where they kind of had him. They were kind of restrained him, and then he just went supernova, and it was just this huge explosion. And they don't want him to do that because he destroys. destroys everything around him. And then good people could die, and they don't want that to happen. So they're trying to, it's like this tug of war where they're getting him to work with him, and then they just want him to stay Shazam, go back to normal, and then never say it again. So slowly but surely he realizes that he's a danger. The female main character archaeologist lady, she has a son. He kind of has like a friendship connection with the kid, even though the kid's a terrible actor, terrible, not likable at all. The mom is fine. The mom's likable. She has a brother in the movie for comic relief. He's likable, but the kid, there's no way The Rock in this character or Black Adam would like this kid at all. So annoying. And just corny, just real corny. Just no likable traits at all. But anyways, have it be a daughter, and then you can have a cute girl. Maybe because it's a boy, and I just don't care about young. I definitely don't care about young boys. I don't know. Anyway, terrible. But so then he says Shazam, takes away his power, so he's not some weapon of mass destruction. I think they could use that term, and then it's like okay, we're back in the 2000 there, George Bush. We're back in the weapons. So that goes through, does that. They lock him up under the water, but at the same time, someone finds that crown. Oh yeah, there's a main bad guy who's like a descendant. You don't find this out until later in the movie, but he's a descendant from the pharaoh. He was part of the female archaeologist's crew. But then he's a bad guy. He turns on him. The whole time he was just following him around just to find the crown. So if he has possession of the crown and gets killed by Black Adam, then he'll go to the underworld, and then like the demons of hell will give him the power. He knows that. So he gets fried, and you think, oh, he has the crown in his hand, and then Black Adam destroys him and he dies. And he's basically like this ash skeleton holding onto the crown. He never put it on, but he's holding onto the crown. And then it shows that character deep into hell, and he has to speak the name of what, just like Shazam, there's an opposite, like there's demon wizards or whatever. He speaks the name, and then he becomes like the demon warrior, whatever, and he unleashes hell on Earth. And so he goes back to Earth, and he's trying to destroy something. He tries to take over the city and sit on the throne of Kabul, or I think it's Kabul is the name of the city. But the dumbest thing, one of the weird things that didn't connect, there are two things. The kid, and then when he raises, like, he's going to raise the army of hell to take over the planet, take over Earth. And you're like, holy crap. And he's this awesome looking demon. He's got I don't know what it's called, the satanic star, the upside down star on his chest. Looks badass. It looks like he's built, he's ready to destroy everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a formidable bad guy. Let's go. Okay. So you got the wizard, main wizard powers, and then you got the demon powers, and they're going to collide. They're kind of equal. Let's see who the best champion is. Champion of hell, champion of the wizard world, or whatever, which is weird. They have the champion of the wizard world, but not heaven. They have hell, but not heaven. Don't understand that. Like, if you're going to do hell, then have God. You know what I mean? But just have God as, like a lazy, like, oh, let's see, I'll give you some powers, whatever. But maybe people won't like that. People won't buy into that. Like, no, it's too close to religion. You can have hell, but not, you can do Zeus. So this badass demon character comes back to Earth, destroying stuff, and then the armies of hell come up out of the ground. And you're like, holy, and they're just skeletons. They're skeletons with like shields and swords. And then all of it, you're like, oh, who's going to take on, like, they're going to just rip through the civilians. The archaeologist and her fat brother with baseball bats just one hit the skeletons, and they fall to ash. Dude, if the armies of hell show up, if that's what they are, we got this. We got it. They're not that difficult. They're supposed to be scary. They're slow. They're like, we got it. is like a bunch of skeleton sloths trying, like, we just, we got it. This is fine. Don't worry. How does the main bad guy have so much power and then his minions have zero? Zero? Like, he took all of their power. Like, what's going on here? Make them formidable. Make them fast. Make them like fast zombies that walk around and they're just destroy. Maybe because they couldn't show. Like, I don't even care about blood and guts. Don't even care. Have them just tear through walls. People hiding behind doors and them just beating down the door, and you don't see them actually kill the people, but they're just going after them. There's no way that they can defend themselves against the army from hell. And an electrician with a baseball bat can. Oh, don't worry about this. Swing, take care of one. Swing, take care of another one. I don't understand how people get paid hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in these movies and just don't see basic stuff. Just don't see it. It's lost on them, apparently. Lost. Anyway. So, like, The Rock finds a way to control his powers. He's gonna beat the main bad guy, and he has the guy by his horns, and he's like pulling. He's gonna break him apart. He's gonna do his Super Saiyan atom bomb, like explosion that destroys a big area around him. Well, there's civilians around him now, so they're like, control your, hey, Black Adam, control your Teuton Adam, control your powers or whatever. So he does, and he doesn't explode, but then he rips the demon in half, and instead of blood, it's lava, and they show like, and it splits. It's cool. He saves the day. He sits on the third. He's like, what are you going to, and he kind of accepts his role as the hero of Kabul, whatever it's called. And it's such a dumb review of this movie. And so that's part of the fun. And so he sits on the throne of Kabul and is like, how does it feel? And he says something like, feels wrong. And then he shoots up in the air about 200 feet, and he comes back down and he destroys the throne. He's like, no one should rule over this. It should be should be ruled by its people. Its people should rule it, whatever. So he's like the hero of. Oh, another cool part. And then everything's fine. The Justice Alliance is like, hey, we'll let you be here as long as you don't kill people anymore. He's like, yeah, we'll see. As long as you guys don't show up. They say, we don't have a problem unless you, the main lady that's part of the suit that runs the Suicide Squad. She's like running stuff from behind the scenes. You only see her in like pop-up video format. And she messages him. It's like, hey, we won't have any problems unless you stay in Kabul. If you step outside of that, we're going to have to take you down. And then she said, he said, there's no one on Earth. The Rock said, Black Adam says, there's no one on Earth that you can send here that's, as powerful as me. There's no one on Earth as powerful as me. And then she goes, well, she says something about, she's like, it's a good thing I know some people that aren't from this planet. And then he goes, and then the like movie ends, rolls credits. He's, oh yeah, it's a good thing I know. Good thing I know some people who aren't from this planet. And then he says like something like, send your best. And she goes, I will, or something along those lines. And then Black Adam is, the credits roll, a whole bunch of cool CG post-credit stuff. And then it's Black Adam in that old palace. And then you hear like, whoosh, and then smoke, dust, and then Superman walks out of it. Henry Cavill's Superman walks out of it. And it seems like they're going to kind of go at it. It's like, a challenge. Ooh. And like Black Adam enjoys this kind of like machismo, champion fighting kind of stuff. And then I wonder, because Henry Cavill promised or released that he's coming back as Superman, which is so dumb. I saw some news report. I'll get into the news here. We got about 20 or so minutes left. I saw news reports that the former leaders of WB didn't want Henry Cavill as Superman. And then I realized, that's why they lost their job. Oh, okay. You mean One of the best Superman. Who else do you have in mind? We have all these movies. Keep it going. If he wants to be Superman, let him be Superman. He's great at it. Like, I don't get it. And then they have James Gunn and another guy running DC. Now, James Gunn did really well with Guardians of the Galaxy, and then he had some like a joke tweet that got him canceled, and now DC is going to be the recipients of just stupid, like, not cancel, like some kind of canceling of him or some upset. Like, dude, what is he really good at making movies? Does he hurt people? No. Let him keep making Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't understand. But anyway, so hopefully it was so dumb. It was so, I saw another thing. It said, I love all of these problems being stupid comic book and video. Like, the problems in my life are comic book and video game and basketball based. And then Kyrie Irving has lost his freaking mind. I heard another on a podcast that he's like, everybody loves him who meets him, but just some of the stuff that he says is so out there and crazy, and he's trying to seem like an intellectual, like, and people aren't. And then he's promoting a book that he didn't read. Like, hey, read the book first. You know what I mean? Get through the whole book. It was like LeBron James had a book in his hand by Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, some book. And he had a book in his hand as he's being talked to reporters, knowing they're going to ask him about the book that he's holding in his hand, because he's like moving the book around, making, like, book noises. What do you think about? Oh, he's a smart man. What's your favorite part about the book? He said a lot of smart things in the book. Hey, read the book first, then have the book in your hand. He's like, oh, I'm pretty much done with it. I'm like 3 pages. No, I'm done. Know about the book before you start. It's like if I had a whole bunch of books behind me I never read before. I'm like an asshole. I got a pumpkin back there. I'm a little pumpkin. I got a basketball. A book, you pretend to be, some kind of scholar. Just say, hey, I don't like to read. I'm skimming through this book. I don't know much about it. Seemed kind of interesting, a little bit of what I read. That's it. Anyway, the DC guy said, we're going to concentrate. So James Gunn and them said, wait, what characters are you going to concentrate on? He's like, well, the DC universe is going to concentrate on Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Harley Quinn. And I think the Joker. Oh, so your best characters. What a revelation. Can I get paid millions of dollars to state obvious things? Hey, can we have a really gritty DC universe that just is kind of like teenage to adult leaning? Can I have that? That's fine. Superman doesn't kill. Batman doesn't kill. That's fine. And then we have a Green Lantern. Like, just have a badass black Green Lantern. Stop trying to make Superman black. There's black comic book characters. So put all of those funds and make good movies based off comic book characters that are, like, you want diversity? Make a badass Wonder Woman movie. The first one wasn't bad. Second one, dumb beyond belief. Because instead of making a good movie, they were concentrating on some kind of like ideology perspective thing. And it's like, oh, to make a woman's movie, we have to, if a woman is the main character, we have to have a woman directing. No, you don't. Is she a good director? I don't know. But it's like, to make Black Panther, we have to have everyone has to be, who makes it, this person. If it's like, anyone can make, like, if you make a Black Panther movie and there's no black people around, there's a problem. I understand that. but it's like we must have, and it's like no, that kind of thing. Like a guy can make a good Wonder Woman movie. A guy can make a good Wonder Woman movie. You don't have to have a white female to make that movie. It's fine. It's fine. The Zack Snyder, the Snyder cut of Justice League, he made Wonder Woman look so badass in that movie. Way more badass than she ever looked in her own 2 movies. We don't want Wonder Woman slow motion. And then the fight scenes in Black Adam were so good because it was a long, not a whole bunch of cuts. It wasn't like Black Adam and then it cuts to a completely different angle. Then it shows it from above. Wasn't that? It was one frame and like he comes over, like this guy's shooting, he comes over, boom, grabs him, hits him. And then you see him shoot up and then like the camera's like slowly moving. Then the guy like falls down to the ground and then he's like, Black Adam's with him. Lightning, he shoots a lightning bolt, hits another guy, and it's all like a slow, like you're there watching it. And you can actually see it. And then when Wonder Woman was like a bullet, just firing, like shooting around the scene, and then just destroying all the bad guys in the bank with the bomb or whatever. I was like, holy, she's a badass. Like she's blocking, but it's not like ting, because we have to show Gal Gadot's face. We have to remind everyone that she's a beautiful woman. And it's a real slow motion. No, this is not 1990 where we have to show these slow motion Matrix. No, I want my superhero, if she has bullet-like speed, I want to see her from a realistic perspective. A whole bunch of people with guns in a bank, and then her just, and then this guy's broken or whatever, like this. And then she and it's like, and then in the second Wonder Woman, she's like holding the bad guy, and then a young girl in a Wonder Woman outfit, like, I could be that. You could be whatever you want, little girl. Wink. And then what? No, it's corny. It's dumb. Nobody likes it. I can understand making that kind of Wonder Woman movie or, whatever comic book movie if you made a good one first. Like if you made a great, like the reason there's so many Batmans and it got campy or whatever. And so, sometimes campy's fun. Sometimes it's fun, But if you're trying to make like a gritty, like have this badass Wonder Woman character, and then the next Wonder Woman, you can have it be, all goofy and stuff. Because there is a line, you don't want to make it too realistic and have everything be rated R. I can see that. Have some PG-13 movies, have some rated R movies. It's fine. It's okay. People will like it. Because the kids who watched all the other, G, PG, PG-13, they're going to get older and want more realistic stuff eventually. More graphic things. And then then you can go watch those movies. It's not difficult. You want your audience to be as wide as possible. Make movies for each category. And each character, like a Wolverine. It took them how long to make an R-rated Wolverine movie? Doesn't make any sense. Oh. It's like I as the leader of DC have a crazy idea. And the characters we need to focus on for the upcoming new DC films. Oh yeah, what's your new idea that no one's thought about? Well, we're going to concentrate on Superman and Batman and all the main characters that you guys know and love. That's what we thought. That's what we've been saying for the past 15 years that you guys should do. It's just beyond words. I'm going to close with there's huge political news. Nancy Pelosi's husband was unfortunately attacked in his home by some crazy guy with a hammer. And I have no political leaning other than our representatives and their families shouldn't be getting attacked by a guy with a hammer. I'm going to go out on a limb. and say that what's going on, that the world's worst and dumb individual she's the third in line to the presidency, and someone can just walk in. All it takes is a hammer and get into their house. Like, what? Like, I wonder if he's going to be pro-gun after this. Probably. It's fascinating. There was less security in their house than I have in my 1-bedroom condo. You don't have an alarm system? Nancy Pelosi's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, it was like 23, like hundreds. I don't think she's worth hundreds of millions, but she's worth tens of millions of dollars at least. Which is a whole other thing. How you get paid, what, $200,000, $300,000 to be the Speaker of the House, but you're worth $20 million. Where'd all that extra money come from? Don't worry about it. And then she just leans out of camera. Besides all of how crooked politicians are in general, they shouldn't be getting attacked by some nudist. And they tried to say the nudist. I heard some places say the nudist this guy was right wing, some right wing crazy person. How many right wing nudists do you know? Those people are usually like more liberal, more left. I've never seen a conservative like take off all of his clothes ever. It's always hippies. Come on, man. Let's just let it. It's your body positivity. Never in my life have I seen that from anyone that leans anywhere right. They'd like to do their stuff in private, away from. They don't come out and say that they're a nudist. Anyways, but it's so weird. Like, how do you not have security at your house? You're like the direct. Maybe he was supposed to, and he had a few drinks and he forgot about it. Now, anyone who drives drunk deserves a smack on the head. Yes. Not from a hammer, but deserves a little, like a backhand. It's like, hey, idiot, you could have killed a kid. You could have killed an innocent child, you idiot. And then just smack him upside his head. Hammer, a little too much. Far, 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 far too much. No one deserves a hammer shot to the head. Unless you're, murderer, child, pedophile, all those stuff. That's besides the point. Then you smash your head in. But I'm just like, what do you do? There are people that I know who aren't rich, who have, like if glass breaks in their house, an alarm just triggers. And then if he's upstairs in his bedroom, lock the door and call the police. He goes down and checks. Like, no, just I'm the husband of the Speaker of the House, and I hear glass break in my house. I'm calling the police immediately. Yeah, glass just broke. Get over here, please. Thank you. And then also, why don't they have at least one person watching the husband? Now, you don't have one retired cop, someone who's off duty, anybody? Like, we're trillions of dollars in debt, and we can't, like, this old, and then at least have that security guard. He wouldn't have been, the security guard can drive his drunk ass around so he doesn't have to drive around intoxicated. It'll be fine. I don't get it. Like, at least have some kind of security at the place that they're living and sleeping. Put cameras in their house. And like, if they don't want it in private areas, that's fine. But like every door, every window, have a camera on it. Real simple, couple hundred bucks. You can have it be a tax write-off for whatever, Simply Safe, and just have them donate certain camera, just motion sensor. If it triggers, like, what happened? Oh, look, there's a crazy half-naked guy with a hammer coming into the. Lock the place down. I just don't. It makes everybody look terrible. Everybody. Like, we can't even secure one drunk old guy. We can't even have one guy like just watching over. I'm like, what's that guy up to? What's Mr. Pelosi up to? Why can't we do that? Because we don't need our leaders and their significant others being attacked openly. So that this lets me know that if someone really wanted to get to somebody, it's really possible. It's not hard at all, apparently. Not hard at all. And this guy came over and said, he was like, where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? Hey, dude, do you see any Secret Service around? She has Secret Service protection. But do you see any Secret Service around the house? Then she's not home, dude. Could you be any more dumb? I couldn't imagine you being any dumber. So whatever this fuck, I don't even want to look up this guy's name. I don't care to learn it. But hey, Tommy, what are you going to do today? Oh, I'm going to go over to Nancy Pelosi's house. And I'm going to kidnap her. Yeah, do you? And then the guy leaves, right? And then the guy doesn't notice he leaves and goes, hey, do you even know if she's home? Oh, well, he's already gone. Idiotic. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for the podcast. Hope the rest of your guys' week goes well. On Thursday, I'll be releasing another video games and nonsense podcast. I'll be talking strictly video games, just video game news on that podcast. So if you like video games, hop over on that one. If you don't, just want to hear about my life and my viewpoints, stay on this one. I've been Chase Carter, and this has been the Chase Carter Concept Podcast for November 1st, 2022. And I appreciate anyone who listens. Thank you very much. You have a good one.
You got this shit knocking low.